Within the Elder Scrolls Online, there are three roles. We've got our tanks, our damage dealers, and our healers. Now, as I'm sure most of you know, we are all about healing here, and ESO is pretty much the cornerstone of this channel. If you didn't know these things, hi, my name's Doc, and welcome to the channel. I hope you enjoy your stay. So, a lot of us have our main roles, and some people can maybe flex into one or both of the other roles. What I'm here today to answer is the question of, should I make a healer? Or if you're already a healer, should I consider moving to another role? Now I'll go ahead and hit you with something you probably never saw coming. The short answer is yes. For many reasons that I'll explain as we go along, you should absolutely consider making or staying a healer. Yeah, I know. The guy whose channel revolves around healing and ESO is telling us to try out healing in ESO. What a shocker. Just hang with me, okay? I think I've got some pretty good points to make. Biases aside, I will try to be as objective as possible about the pros and cons of rolling a healer in ESO. You're also welcome to completely ignore my suggestion and just feel free to enjoy listening to what healing is like in ESO. Trust me, if you're a tank, please stay a tank. We need more of you guys, okay? But let's start with the basics. How are the classes when it comes to healing? Are they fun? Are they unique? Well, I'm going to say yes. Like with tanks and DPS, you can have a healer of every class, which is actually a goal that I'm currently working on. While there are a few standout classes who are better than the rest at healing, all classes can have a solid healing build that can work in the vast majority of content, giving you plenty of options for what sort of healer you want to be. I will say though, sometimes healing can feel a tad samey across classes, as most of the best healing skills in the game actually come from weapon skills, guild skills, and PvP. Though I do think that the class skills, passives, and buffs that you bring will make each class feel unique enough that you won't really be an issue. I think you'll enjoy it either way. Okay, well, what about gear? What's the grind like for it? Do gear metas shift pretty often? Well, I'll go ahead and start by saying that I don't think the grind for healer gear is too bad, with a couple of exceptions. If you're interested in a deep dive into gear, I actually have a set guide and a build guide up on the channel right now that you can go watch after we're all done here. Most sets won't take you too long to acquire. Grinding the White Gold Tower dungeon, the Depths of Malatar dungeon, and the Kind's Aegis trial aren't bad at all. Really, I don't mind them at all. I think they're honestly really fun. Now on the other hand, trying to do things like the Scalecaller Peak Dungeon, Dragonstar Arena, and the Dreadsail Reef Trial can be a bit rough if you're relying on random teammates. For all intents and purposes, these three that I just mentioned are still really fun. It's just they can be a little more difficult to complete if you don't have a pre-made group or, if you don't match with solid random teammates. Once you've acquired all that gear, does the healing meta change very often? Am I going to have to grind more gear anytime soon? As of this moment, definitely not. The healer meta has been pretty much exactly as it is for a few years now. Even scrying, when that came out, really didn't make much of a difference for healers. We'll see how things look when the next major release happens, but for now, most guides that have come out within the last couple years are pretty up to date. For some people, this may actually be a good thing, as you won't have to do any more gear grinding or upgrading for a little while. On the other side though, I have spoken with a number of people who do feel a bit frustrated at the stagnation of the current healer meta. Whether it's a pro or a con is honestly just totally up to you. What about actually getting into healing and being a good healer? Is it easy? Is it hard? Is there a lot of room to grow? Well, I'm probably a little bit biased. I'm probably a lot biased, but here's my input. It is very easy to get into healing and be a good healer. It is also very difficult to master healing and be a great healer. Pretty much anyone can hop into some normal content with some okay healing skills and a couple decent sets and keep everyone alive and pretty well buffed without too terribly much difficulty. On the other hand, not everyone is going to be able to jump into vet content and manage all the buffs and debuffs that healers need to juggle, while also maintaining a very high heal parse to make sure to overcome heal checks. So basically, I think that healing has a rather low skill floor. It's easy to get into, but a very high skill ceiling. It is difficult to master and be a truly great healer. Of course, there's always room to grow, just like the other roles. I'm a good healer, okay? But I'm not ESO's gift to healing or anything like that. Even I am still continuing to learn, grow, develop, and try to make my name within the healing community. I think this is also a great time to talk about resources for crafting builds and becoming a better healer. One of the nicest things about ESO's healing community is that there are a ton of different resources for builds, guides, and more. Whether it's the Healer's Haven Discord server, websites, or YouTube videos from myself or other content creators, there are a ton of resources for build crafting and learning how to heal. Well, is it fun to heal? Is it rewarding? I do think that depends more on the person than anything else. I mean, I don't think anyone will disagree that healer queue times are pretty great. Maybe not as great as tanks, but still pretty great. Outside of that, different people find different things rewarding. I've always enjoyed healing and supporting my team much more than I enjoy dealing damage and getting kills. For a lot of people, that may not be the case, and I completely understand that a lot of people may not find healing fulfilling, and they may find it kind of boring. But to me, keeping my teammates up and hitting hard is about as fun and rewarding as it gets. The final question you may ask yourself is, what about viability? I heard healers aren't really needed in dungeons. Is that true? Say it isn't so, Doc. Well, the unfortunate truth is that, yeah, it's mostly correct. While I'm not necessarily a fan of this, in a well-optimized group, the tank and some self-heals are usually enough to keep the group alive, with some hard mode dungeons being exceptions. This means that for most dungeons with an optimized group, 3 DPS and 1 tank is actually the best strategy. There is a light at the end of the tunnel though, my friends, as the key word there is optimized group. I've been playing ESO for quite a while, and I've run countless dungeons on normal, vet, and vet HM. The fact of the matter is, I can't say that I've encountered too many match-made groups that didn't benefit from having a healer. I think even above that, no matter if a group needs a healer or doesn't, most people I've encountered are still appreciative just to have one in the group. So don't worry about the whole dungeons don't need healers discourse. If you want to be a pure healer in a dungeon setting, then you have every right to do so. So in conclusion, yes, I absolutely do think making a healer is worth your time in 2025. Again though, feel free to completely ignore this video if healing's not your thing. I just wanted to make this quick video to discuss this topic that's been on my mind for a little bit. I'm also using today as a marker. I feel like I've been a little all over the place in terms of content and consistency, so I'm making my goal to upload 1 ESO video every Thursday, and my Sunday videos will be just, whatever I feel like. The ESO community, especially the content creation scene, has been really great to me, and I want to dial in a little more on the game that I honestly spend most of my time playing. Don't worry though. Whether you're a fan of Destiny, Marvel Rivals, Overwatch, Dead by Daylight, or whatever else you're here for, I will still be making plenty of videos on those games, and many other games too. I'm just going to be a little more focused is all. I know I'm probably a tad late to the party with making content on a lot of these games, but hey, better late than never, right? I've been playing them for a long time, I figure, might as well start. Speaking of being late to the party, I know the developer reveal for Update 45 came out today. I do plan on gathering some of my thoughts and making a larger video that encompasses things like the transition to seasons, Update 45, and some other things that are going on in the community and just the world of ESO. As usual though, while you're waiting for that video, I do appreciate you guys tremendously for your viewership, all the kindness you've shown me, and all the patience you've shown me since starting this channel. I think all I've got left to say is that I've been Doc. Take care of yourselves, be good to others, don't forget to repair your armor, and I will catch y'all in the next one.